Hello, good afternoon. This is the Marketplace. Coming up, International Monetary Fund insists securing financing assurance from external creditors is essential for the next tranche of $600 million disbursement for Ghana.
For us to be able to present this review to our executive board, we need to have what we call financing assurances from official bilateral creditors.
Interest rates hit 33% as government T-bill sales oversubscribed by 24.5%. Plus, all is set for the Joy Sports Joy Business Thought Leadership Program happening tonight at 7 p.m. at the Labadi Beach Hotel to discuss the economy of football and how Ghana can strategically position itself to attract foreign direct investments from that sector. We shall be telling you why you need to follow keenly. We have details of these and many others coming your way all in a moment. Please stay. Thanks so much for your company. I am Pious, Kojo Backah. Let's now look at our stories. The International Monetary Fund has maintained that Ghana must secure the required financing assurance from its external creditors by next month before its board can approve the next tranche of funds. It is coming after the visiting IMF team passed the government on its first program review. IMF Mission Chief for Ghana, Stefan Rode, has been speaking on a yet-to-be-aired PM Express Business Edition this Thursday at 9 p.m. My colleague George first asked him why this first review.
The next steps are for our management to endorse the review, and then eventually really the completion of the review and the disbursement of the funds associated with this review. And in this case we talk about another $600 million. So this step will require completion by our executive board of the review. You asked about the conditions or what needs to be done going forward. For us to be able to present this review to our executive board, we need to have what we call financing assurances from official bilateral creditors. You will remember that for us to be able to present the program to our executive board back in May, we already needed a form of financing assurances, and we obtained them. The official creditor committee had committed to provide debt relief to Ghana in a way that is consistent with the program parameters, in a way that is consistent with the financing that is envisaged for the program, and also with the debt targets that the government is aiming to achieve over the medium term. At this current juncture, we also need financing assurances, but because progress is being made in the discussions, the type of financing assurances that we need to be able to move forward with presenting the review to the board entail an agreement on those terms of the restructuring that the government and the official creditor committee are discussing.
Stefan Rode is IMF Mission Chief for Ghana, speaking on a yet-to-be-aired PM Express Business Edition at 9 p.m. this Thursday. Do make a date. But let's have a discussion on this. And joining us via Zoom is Head of Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, Professor Peter Quote, for more on this. Thanks so much, sir, for joining us on the Marketplace. We just heard from the IMF Head of Mission to Ghana, Stefan Rode. But the question is, how crucial is it for Ghana to get financing assurance from its external creditors before the board can approve the next tranche of funds?
Well, good afternoon to your discerning viewers. It's very critical for government or for Ghana to obtain this financing assurance, because as part of the agreement, I mean, if you look at the SLA that has been agreed upon, that is a critical requirement. But I believe this discussion has gone on for quite some time. The IMF World Bank has this G20 framework, which is being worked on for quite some time now. And I believe that they have reached very far with this. Zambia has been able to secure this assurance and is working to their advantage. But I believe that given that we have met all the conditions, the external creditors would work swiftly on this so we could have the second tranche disbursed.
And we've got to do this by next month. Looking at the timelines, indeed, you've mentioned that you are positive we are likely to get that. But will we get the external creditors give us the financing assurance we are looking for, really?
Well, I think there was an agreement that was signed. It's just the specifics that did not come out before the IMF went ahead to even disburse the first tranche. So I don't foresee any hurdle. I think this assurance will certainly come on board. As to the specific details, we are yet to see how, to what extent, how deep they will go to ensure that our debt is reduced considerably is what we need. We're currently borrowing quite a lot from the domestic market, buying with our treasury bills, and I don't think that is sustainable. So we need this as well, external assurance. We need the external creditors to come on board, and we are certain as to our debt levels. I don't think we need another or further rounds of debt exchange. 2 rounds are enough, and therefore this is the last stage and very critical to us.
If we've met all the conditions, then I guess we are good to go. So why the delay? What are we waiting for, really?
Well, I believe it's still the details that is being worked out, because you certainly all the other parties have to come on board. China, for instance, is very critical to get China to agree to some of the terms. And so I believe those fine details are being worked on.
What must government do to get the financing assurance we are looking for? Yes, you've mentioned that we met all the criteria, and what have you. Between now and November, what must government do?
Well, so far, we are ensuring macro stability. So far, our fiscal continues to remain resilient and positive. So government should continue ensuring macro stability, continue to respect the terms of the IMF agreement. Once that is done, government could still engage some of these bilateral creditors. It has good relations with some of them, including China. So apart from using the IMF and the World Bank to get this assurance, government should engage bilaterally using its relationships in the past to get this assurance in as quickly as possible.
Thank you very much, Professor Peter Quarty, for your time here at the Marketplace. He's the head of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. He says, speaking to us there. Still talk about money matters, and interest rates shot up on the money market to hit 33%. This is coming despite the government recording a 24.5% oversubscription of T-bill sales at a lower target. Here's more.
According to the auction result from the Bank of Ghana, all the rates across the yield curve increased, whilst the 364-day T-bill reached 33.01% from 32.85% the preceding week. VAT of the 182-day bill inched to 31.21% as against 30.67% previously. The yield on the 91-day also went up by 0.69% to 29.19%. Analysts and market watchers are worried about the increase in domestic debt. Meanwhile, the bids tendered for the 91-day bill were higher than the targeted amount of 2.109 billion cedis. About 2.170 billion cedis were offered for the short-term security, but the government accepted 2.155 billion cedis. For the 182-day bill, about 375.3 million cedis were tendered, but the government accepted 353.35 million cedis of the bids. With regards to the 364-day bill, the government took 67.46 million cedis of the 80.17 million cedis tendered.
Joining us on the back of this is Patrick Agama, of Head of Trading at Republic Securities, for more. Patrick, thanks so much for joining me on the Marketplace. It appears interest rates on the money market keep soaring each and every week, and today we're seeing 33%. What is accounting for that? All right, so we shall get Patrick Agama on to speak to us on the back of the Treasury bills oversubscription. But we do know that interest rates have gone up by some 33% despite its oversubscription. and we want to make sense out of that. And pretty soon, Patrick Agama, of Head of Trading at Republic Securities, will join us for more on that. And of course, we shall keep you posted in our subsequent bulletins. As Wednesday joins us, we will have a discussion to that effect. But we've got to take this story quickly. The Director General of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tinkran, has stated that the only way to eradicate old age poverty for workers in the informal sector is to join the SNIT pension scheme. Speaking at a stakeholder engagement at WA in the Upper West region regarding its newly launched product, the Self-Employed Enrollment Drive, he noted that the aim is to redefine social security in Ghana and give hope to the self-employed to be able to retire with dignity and comfort. Joyce News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The stakeholder engagement held by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, is in partnership with the Trades Union Congress, aimed at roping workers in the informal sector to have a dignified retirement. Various trades associations took part in the engagement, including dressmakers, hairdressers, tailors, farmers, and the Ghana Private Road Transport Union. SNIT used the opportunity to throw more light on their latest product, the Self-Employed Enrollment Drive, SEED, a product geared towards expanding coverage of the basic national scheme. Director General of SNIT, Dr. John Ofori-Tinkran, said the aim is to redefine social security in Ghana and give hope to the self-employed to be able to retire in dignity and comfort.
SEED is not that different. In fact, it is the same product, the same contributions, rates, and the same benefits. The only difference is that for people who are self-employed, the law allows them to make payments as and when their businesses and their incomes allow. Unlike those in the formal sector who are employed by other employers, then there the obligation is that the employer pays for them regularly as long as they are rendering service to the employer. So for the self-employed, the participation onto the SNIT scheme is voluntary. It is not mandated by law. So these people then also have some flexibility as to when they pay their pensions. However, because the product is the same, the longer you contribute, the more your income replacement value, the higher your pension, and the often you contribute, the more you stand to benefit or to qualify for invalidity or life insurance benefits as and when those events occur.
Dr. John Ofori-Tinkran allayed the fears of the public on some misconceptions about SNIT, stating that it is a change agency.
Yes, there are a lot of misconceptions about SNIT. One of them has been that SNIT is only available to government workers only. So that means that if you are not paid by the Controller and Accountant General, then you cannot join SNIT. But that is false. As I showed today in the presentation, what we found out is that right now there are more private sector workers joining SNIT, some 1.2 million of them, whereas government workers are only like some 700,000 at best. The last one is that people think that SNIT pensions are low. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard people say, oh, I've worked for 35 years, and when I went on pension, all I got was some small amount of money. Well, as I said today, the SNIT scheme is not an investment scheme, it is an insurance scheme. What do we insure? We insure your salary. Like other insurance companies, we insure your cars, your houses. SNIT, what we insure is your salary.
He noted that the only way to eradicate old age poverty in the country is to join the SNIT scheme.
We have a branch around, and they have also been mandated to go out there and do public education and some marketing. So I think with all of our collective efforts, if we want to eradicate old age poverty, because our society has changed and our children are not going to be living with us in the villages anymore because they are going to school and they are getting jobs elsewhere and they are probably going to abroad or going to Accra or whatever. we cannot rely on them. And so whilst we are working, whatever the nature of our job, let's take advantage of it. So help us spread the message.
Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
On to one of our headline stories, which of course is one of the biggest stories we are following up for you this very moment. The global sports tourism market was valued at $587.8 billion in 2022. The significant growth in the popularity of sporting events such as the Olympics, the FIFA World Cup, the NBA, and others across the globe are factors propelling the growth of the industry. Countries like Saudi Arabia and China have made significant investments to attract big-name footballers in a bid to leverage on football to boost tourism. Now, in view of this, Joy Sports and Joy Business are organizing a thought leadership program to discuss the economy of football and how Ghana can strategically position itself to attract foreign direct investments. Now, the event comes off today at the Labadi Beach Hotel at exactly 7 p.m. The theme for the event is repurposing our approach to football development. Thankfully, joining us in studio to talk about all this important event is Joy Sports editor Gary Al Smith. For more of this, Gary, thanks so much for joining me on the Marketplace. Tell me, how important is this event?
Well, like you said, you give a brilliant preamble and it sets the tone. If the world is making $580 and more $billion in 1 year, I mean, we certainly deserve some of that cake, you know, and we should position ourselves to do that. Today's event is, in very simple terms, a reminder to all people in all sectors that there's a $580 billion cake out there. How much do you want? And how do you get there? It's really as simple as that.
Is that to say that over the years we've not made any significant impact or we've not had a share of that?
We've had a share, but it's not significant.
Okay.
Because once we play football, we've been playing football organized in an organized way since at least 1956. We've been qualifying for tournaments. You know, you win 1 million there, 200,000 there, 20,000. Those are just paltry amounts in the cake that we have as well. So it's not that we've not been getting any inroads or making any inroads at all. It's that it is very, very small. And we are in a unique position because of where we are in Africa, our location, because of the sheer amount of talents that we have and can export. And also the fact that we have some really brilliant minds in Ghana who are not aware of this. And so today's event will tune their minds to that frequency and let them know that, hang on, there's something to be done, and then hopefully we can all work toward it. Just to give an idea, today we are using Saudi Arabia as sort of an inspiration, because they have come from nowhere, and in about 5 years they have done what I'm going to show you now. Right. So this morning, this was issued by it's as if they knew we were going to have this event today. And this morning, the Saudi Football Federation in conjunction with their Saudi Arabian Tourism Authority issued these official figures.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
fill us in.
They are 3-time champions of the AFC, that's basically the African Cup of Nations, the Asian version. Right, now this is since they started taking sports tourism seriously. Now, they've built 18 regional talent training centers. That is to say, these centers are coming to take some of the best talents in the world to train them in Saudi Arabia.
Wow.
Yes, 18.
Okay.
There's been a 56% increase in registered male players since 2021. And that's just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
56%.
That's significant.
No, that's huge.
Yeah.
97 Saudi sports federations in 2023, this year alone, have been set up. 97. Now think about it. Just this year. There's been a 160% increase in youth football investment.
Wow.
All right? 48,000 plus girls have been welcomed in the Schoolgirls League in its first week. You know, Saudi, their reputation has been that girls are not allowed to. They have opened it up. Yeah. And now girls, though, don't be surprised in the next 5-6 years, you start seeing Saudi Arabia in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. Now, they have previously been in the FIFA World Cup 6 times. They have qualified 6 times. Since 2018, Saudi have invested so much that they now have 50 international sports events hosted in the country. So previously, they would attend the events, but now they have opened the country and people are hosting things. So just as an example, WrestleMania,
Okay.
the big one is now hosted, not in the United States anymore, in Saudi Arabia. The big golf tournaments, football tournaments, chess tournaments, they're hosting the biggest Scrabble tournament, like everything they are hosting. They've hosted 50 of those as well. Now, there's been an 86% increase in registered female players since 2021. And this is a country where just 5 years ago, women were not even allowed to drive.
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah.
152 players from 47 countries are now playing in the Saudi Pro League, and that's what everybody is talking about. There's been an 800% growth in the number of female coaches in 2 years. 800%. 800%. And now they have 5,500 plus registered coaches from 750 only in 2018. So in 2018, they decided that, this sports thing can give us a lot of exposure and money. Let's invest in it. And this is what they've done. So we are saying through today's event that if we take it seriously as well, hopefully in a few years, Ghana can have numbers like this.
Finally, who are the speakers and who can attend?
Well, you can attend. It's at the Labadi Beach Hotel. Starts at 6 p.m. Neil Armstrong Motabe is one. Professor Ebo Hinson is one of our titular speakers. He'll be there as well. And we are going to have some people from corporate Ghana. Dr. Daniel Macaulay will be there to represent the business side, to explain why they don't find it prudent right now, and to explain the challenges why corporate Ghana does not feel football is attractive and so on, plus a few other speakers. It will be live on TV here from Joy News, on Joy News. And you can tune in from 7 p.m. and then we end at 9.
Great. Thank you so much, Gary L. Smith, of course, Head of Sports, Joy Sports here, filling us in with all that we need to know in relation to this upcoming event. We shall, of course, keep an eye on that and, of course, keep you posted in our subsequent bulletins. But quickly, let's touch on the story we're telling you earlier about the T-bills oversubscription. Thankfully, Patrick Agama, of Head of Trading at Republic Security, joins me live on Zoom for more. And Patrick, earlier I was asking, it appears interest rates on the money market keep soaring each and every week. Really, what is accounting for this?
Well, good afternoon. Yes, we are seeing interest rates rise every week because there's still significant appetite from government for these funds. This happens to be the only way government is raising money through the market. So when this appetite keeps rising, investors also try to bid higher in the auctions.
What about the impact of the 24.5% oversubscription of T-bill sales on the economy?
Well, we expect this trend to continue. This oversubscription was not so significant because the target was low. However, if you look at the coming days, you will see that the government will need about 6.29 billion to close October. And when this demand is there, investors know it, and they actually bid against this particular demand. In November, we expect the government to target to raise about 10.67 billion. And then this goes up in December about 12.82 billion. So the appetite for these funds is really high, and investors are going to also take advantage unless government can find alternative ways of raising money to actually reverse the trend.
Let's go to the capital market. And this week, EcoBank Ghana is expected to continue its fine performance on the Ghana Stock Exchange this week. What more can you tell us about other stocks listed on the local bears?
Well, we saw a rise in EcoBank Ghana last week. The trend is still continuing. As of now, EcoBank Ghana is still looking really, really attractive to investors. Not just EcoBank, but other banking stocks. With regards to the conflict in Israel and all that, we expect investors to keep close eye on the oil marketing companies, because if something goes to affect the supply of oil, that will reflect in the stock price of oil marketing companies like Goel and Total. So we are actually keeping an eye on those two stocks as well.
Great. Thank you very much, Patrick Agama, Head of Trading, Republic Securities, with all the fine details from the capital market. We are indeed grateful for your time. And that's how we part company here on the marketplace with me, Pious, Kojo, Backah. You can get great stories when you log on to myjoyonline.com/business for all the business stories you need to read in Ghana and beyond. Always a pleasure serving you. Do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.